What's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keep on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Who is this?
Big Bucket.
Big Bucket. Let's go ahead and get this party started, Bears fans. Walter Payton, it's the man. Find Cole Kmet wide open. Touchdown, Bears. Let me put it on again. Keep it on fire. I love it. I could probably beat him in the 40. Let's freaking go, Chicago Bears fans. Breaking news out of Chicago.
I think I can fit in as like a water boy for the Panthers or something. I'm not talking about getting on the field,
Put it right behind me, so every time I'm on the podcast, like, you got Isaiah Fry's jersey? Hell yeah, I do. Let's go. You got on with the Bears organization. You got high up. Would I be like a water boy for you or something? What's going on? What role am I? Comment Bear down if you love Keek on the Mic and if you love the Chicago Bears. Who is this?
George S. House.
And as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You can go and subscribe cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Bears fans, I also want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is BetUS. As always, you guys can head over to betus.com and use promo code YouTube150 to receive your 150% deposit bonus up to $2,000. And once again, we've been betting with BetUS all season long on the Chicago Bears, and the Chicago Bears continue to let us down. Bears fans, I am truly at a loss of words, and I usually don't do live streams spontaneous like this, but I really wanted to come on here today and just have this conversation with you guys and really hear your guys' opinions in the chat, and feel free to vent and go off and tell me how you're feeling about the circus show that we are calling the Chicago Bears right now. Once again, going back to yesterday's game, losing 23-20 in prime position to win that football game once again against the NFC's best, the NFL's best Detroit Lions. And once again, Matt Eberflus figures out a way how to really F things up for the Chicago Bears. The sequence was 2nd and 20. After legal use of hands by Tevin Jenkins, it pushed us back to 2nd and 20. The Detroit Lions only sent 4. They were able to get home with 4 on 5 of our offensive linemen. Caleb Williams was sacked with 33 seconds left. The Chicago Bears still had their timeout left, and Matt Eberflus decides not to use the timeout and lets the clock run out as Caleb Williams just heaves the ball downfield for an incomplete pass to Roma Dunze to end the game. Bears fans, I didn't really think that Matt Eberflus would be able to find a way to mess things up once again. After the Hail Mary and against the Washington Commanders, after the game against the Green Bay Packers, where he could have probably run the ball a couple more times to get the field goal closer, and then the field goal was blocked. Losing to the New England Patriots 19-3, getting blown out by the Arizona Cardinals. Caleb Williams being Superman and forcing overtime against the Minnesota Vikings and losing that game as well. I didn't really think there was any possible way for Matt Eberflus to F things up again for the Chicago Bears. And once again, the Bears lost in an embarrassing fashion, and the Bears are now the laughingstock of the NFL. That's now 6 straight losses. And obviously speculation all night long was that Matt Eberflus was possibly going to be fired. That, a lot of credible sources saying, the Bears have never fired a coach midseason, but for the first time ever in Chicago Bears history, the Chicago Bears were actually considering firing head coach Matt Eberflus. As soon as this morning, they said they were going to meet, and that was that. At 9 a.m. or 7 a.m., whatever my time, or 9 a.m. in Chicago's time, Matt Eberflus was still able to hold his after-game press conference that he does the next day. The fact that they let this guy still do a press conference it is beyond me. You have players calling for his job. You have Jaquan Brisker on social media laughing at Matt Eberflus. You have Kyler Gordon in the locker room, and when they're asking about Matt Eberflus, he says, no comment, next question. You have DJ Moore and Keenan Allen questioning, or Cole Kmet questioning the call that he didn't call a timeout there when clearly the Bears needed a timeout. I don't know what it's going to take for the Chicago Bears to be considered a serious organization, or what it's going to take to actually fire a coach mid-season, but this would have been the perfect time to have a backbone and just fire the dude. Like, I don't understand how much more pain and misery, you really want to go through. It's like they really don't care. And here's my dilemma now, Bears fans, is that I'm starting to question on who is actually running the organization. Like, how much power does Ryan Poles actually have to make these moves? How much power does Kevin Warren have to make these moves? They actually even hired this guy named Ted Cruz, which he was from the Kansas City Chiefs organization, to make changes to this organization. And it's still the same shit, different day, Bears fans. I think we all know who the problem is at this point. It's George McCaskey. They are so stuck on tradition and doing things the right way. The right thing to do here is to fire your loser, lame duck head coach that keeps making effing idiotic decisions in Matt Eberflus. To me, there is no reason why Matt Eberflus should have a job today as the Chicago Bears head coach. The fact that he had this interview this morning and he was just talking about, oh, yep, we're just moving on to San Francisco, like nothing happened yesterday. It's absolutely embarrassing. The Chicago Bears are now the laughingstock, and it seems like George McCaskey and the Bears organization doesn't care. I'm starting to think, Bears fans, the only thing that we can do is really hold out. Is really just hold out on the Chicago Bears. When they have home games, don't show up for them. Because the McCaskey family doesn't care about Bears fans. They don't care about us. If they truly cared about Bears fans and cared about what we wanted, this guy would already be fired by now. I am just really at a loss of words. And there's still rumors out there, and this would be a really messy situation if they handled it like this. Matt Eberflus did mention in his press conference this morning that he's still meeting again with Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren, and then he's meeting with the team. So is there still a possibility that they could still fire Matt Eberflus even after they had allowed him to do the press conference early this morning? And I know a lot of people may say, hey, Keek, you're crazy for thinking that, but I'm not sure if it's actually really crazy to think that, for the simple fact that look at how they handled the Shane Waldron situation. It took them a full 48 hours to make that decision. Even though it was the most simple decision in the world to fire Shane Waldron, it still took them a couple of days. And you have to remember, the Bears now have a long weekend, a little mini bye week since they played on Thursday. They don't play their next game until next Sunday against the San Francisco 49ers. So maybe we could be in a weird situation where they still fire Matt Eberflus and make Richard Hightower or Thomas Brown the interim head coach. I'm not sure how they're doing it. But if that's how they chose to handle it, that's once again it's just plain out stupid. It just shows them that they have no idea what they're doing. And at this point, if they really want to keep Matt Eberflus for the rest of the season, I'm starting to be out on Ryan Poles as well. Because you cannot be that connected to a guy to be able to watch that product on the field. You clearly see that players are frustrated and calling out Matt Eberflus. And the fact that you're still going to possibly keep him for the remainder of the season, whether you're out of the playoffs or not, is absolutely ridiculous. You are threatening the state of the Chicago Bears. You are threatening the fact that the players may start getting divided and start acting out towards you as well, Ryan Poles. You are supposed to be the leader. You are supposed to have the best interest of this football team. And once again, you guys are showing true negligence. Any good organization, Bears fans, would fire their lame duck head coach that's a loser. We all know Matt Eberflus is a loser. And give Thomas Brown an audition. At this point, you're out of the playoffs anyways. Let's say you fire Matt Eberflus, you bring in Thomas Brown, and he wins the last 5, and he goes 9-8. The Bears are probably still not going to make the playoffs, but at least you know that you possibly maybe have your guy in Thomas Brown. And I know a lot of Bears fans will be like, well, Keek, I want the draft picks. I want to have a higher draft pick. Fuck the draft picks. right? To me, it's all about the development of Caleb Williams. It's about the development of our young guys on this football team. And Matt Eberflus is continuing to stunt that development. These players are defeated. Keenan Allen even mentioned yesterday after the game, he was like, the players did enough to win the football game. Read in between the lines, Bears fans. He said the players did enough to win the football game. That is a call out on head coach Matt Eberflus. That is one of your leaders on the team. That's a veteran on this team. And they continue to call out Matt Eberflus every single week. And Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren and the McCaskey families just don't care. That's how you divide. That's how you divide a organization. That's how you divide players on the team. I guarantee you there's not one player in that locker room that has belief in Matt Eberflus. They understand that he has no answers at this point. How in the hell do you lose a game when you have, 40 plus seconds left and a timeout left and you don't even get a field goal off? How do you truly, Bears fans, how do you truly fuck up that situation? Once again, they're the laughing stock of the NFL. They're the laughing stock of the NFL, and it's really starting to make me question everything about this organization and who's actually running things. Because any GM, whether you're friends with the guy or not, would have made the move to fire the guy. It's just that simple. And once again, I don't usually do live streams like this on Fridays, but I really just wanted to come on here and vent to you guys and just give my personal opinion on it. Once again, it still sounds like the verdict is up in the air about Matt Eberflus. Just because he had his press conference this morning doesn't mean he's going to be fired later on. I still think by the end of the season, he will be gone. But my thing is, if you know he's not the guy, just fire him. There's no point in keeping him. Just fire the guy already. It's just crazy to me. It's really just crazy to me. And once again, I see the comments. I'm reading your guys' comments, and I'll get to your guys' comments in a second. But Ryan Poles is just as much to blame. He is now fully connected to Matt Eberflus to a point where I'm like, okay, if you truly like this guy, if you truly think he's still leading the locker room in the right direction, and he has the best interest of these players, even though the players are telling you otherwise, you can be fired too. Because this is probably the biggest thing on Ryan Poles right now. The fact that you not only hired Matt Eberflus, you doubled down on him. You doubled down on him, my dude. And once again, if the Bears really decide, it's really one of those weird things that it's just bad business all the way around. You allow the guy to do a morning press conference, but then if you fire him after allowing him to do that press conference in the morning, that's just bad business. Why wouldn't you just fire him early in the morning? Yeah, Ryan Poles' seat is red hot. Once again, go ahead and comment in the comment section. I'll interact with you guys for a little bit. But like I said, the rumor still going around is that the possibility the Bears could still fire Matt Eberflus. But like I said, I don't think the guy should have a job. We can talk about records. We could talk about, all the games that he has blown. Obviously, the comments that players have been saying about him. We all know that stuff already. To me, at this point, this makes zero sense that he still has a job. It makes zero sense. Once again, we have Joseph Archer in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. He says, keep it coming, my dude. FGB, bear down to you as well. Once again, if you guys agree that Matt Eberflus should be fired, do me a huge favor and hit the like button on today's live stream. Once again, I do enjoy doing these live streams with you guys every once in a while just to really get my feelings and emotions out there. It's getting to the point where I told my wife and my dad this morning, I'm like, you know what? I'm starting to get to the point where I don't even want to watch them play anymore because you just know what's going to happen. When the game is on the line and we have a chance to win another football game, Matt Eberflus will find a way to fuck it up again. I guarantee you we're going to have a chance to beat the Niners next weekend. And Matt Eberflus in crunch time is going to mess it up. You have analysts all across the National Football League from the outside looking in saying, what are the Chicago Bears doing? There's no way in hell that this dude should have a job. Like, people are really bashing Matt Eberflus, and the fact that George McCaskey and Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren are just sitting here being all calm about it. There's nothing you don't need to discuss anything at this point. The dude should be gone. Sayonara. See you later. Unbelievable, man. Marco C says, we are circus fire Poles, and it's coming to that, guys. It's coming that we may need to fire Ryan Poles as well. It's coming. It's really coming to that. We have Trey Sports Talk Chicago. He said, can someone please explain to me why we let him talk to the media once again? You took the words right out of my mouth. Yep, Jaquan Brisker tweeted this morning. It's crazy. Players are really telling you how they feel, and Ryan Poles is still taking his time. Like, oh, maybe there's still a chance. Like, be strong. But at the same time, I kind of question the strength of Ryan Poles. He cried when he cut Adrian Colbert. Like, so just imagine if Ryan Poles has to fire his good old buddy Matt Eberflus. Be a fucking man about it and fire his ass. Someone said, what is ownership and management doing? This is why we poked fun at by the rest of the league. Somebody needs to step up and fire his ass. The coach is bringing the team and the fan. Exactly. Someone said, even though Bears fans can be crazy at times, they don't deserve Chicago Bears fans, really. Once again, if you guys agree with me and you guys are just as angry or upset or frustrated as me about the Bears and how they're handling this Matt Eberflus situation, go ahead and comment in the comment section. Let me know how you're feeling, and also hit the like button, and also hit the subscribe button as well. Once again, there's still a chance that they could fire Matt Eberflus over the next couple of days, but it's just how they're handling it right now. It shouldn't take this long to fire a loser head coach. You can even see in the press conference, like Matt Eberflus's face. It's almost like, put me out of my fucking misery. Like, he doesn't even want to be here. You could just tell he's done. He has no answers for the guys. He sucks. He has no answers for the players, and they know that. Someone says, look, at this point, it's time to fire Poles. I'm sorry, it's time. Kevin Warren, if he can't fire him, George, fire him. If you can't fire him, then exactly. I think it's George. I think the Bears won't be good until the McCaskey sell the team. Really. Someone said a boycott wouldn't work because there are too many idiots in the world that will continue to buy. Yes, exactly. I still do this Bears podcast for you guys just to talk with you guys and give you guys some news on the Bears. But I really haven't bought any new Bears gear or really, cared about going back to Chicago to watch a game in a long time. Because it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It just, it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know. I see a lot of people agree with me and how I'm feeling this morning. It's definitely crazy. Someone even said Justin Fields warned us about his coach, yet we called Fields a diva, and that's absolutely true. Justin Fields did say, hey, it's the coaching, and everyone really did get down on Justin Fields about that, and now look at it. He was right. It's just crazy. Someone said, I really hate George McCaskey. I don't even like to go as far as hating someone. I'll just say I really dislike George McCaskey and how they run their organization. For the longest time, they said they were going to take a step back, but he still has his handprints all over. And I know I brought it up in my podcast with Isaiah Fry last week prior to the Lions matchup. And I said, it really bothered me that he was out during the tailgate, like talking to fans and talking about, oh yeah, change is coming, essentially. Like, we're going to make a change here pretty soon. And still nothing. It's still nothing. Like, why wait until the end of the season? Like, you can't make this up. Why wait until the end of the season? It makes no sense. Zero sense. We have Dan in the chat. How you doing, Dan? He says, what's up, Keek on the mic, Chicago Bears podcast, showing support from Breeze Nation. I appreciate you tuning in, and thank you so much for all the love and support. Once again, we are just venting this morning. We're venting on Black Friday. And, I was really confident last night. I was, telling my family at the Thanksgiving dinner, I was like, yes, Matt Eberflus is finally going to be fired. The Bears are finally going to do it. You start, there was a lot of fire on social media, all that good stuff. And still nothing. Yeah. I did mention Ted Cruz. Thank you guys for bringing that up. Ted Cruz is supposed to come in here and kind of make a difference to this organization, and still nothing. Yes, they need to fire him ASAP. And I love this comment by Dan, too. Eberflus is a generational loser, and that's definitely true. He's a generational loser. He's a bum. He's a bad head coach, and everyone knows it. Everyone around the league knows it, apparently, besides the McCaskey, Ryan Poles, and Kevin Warren. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why it's taking so long to make a very simple decision. It's a very simple decision to fire a coach that has a historically one of the worst records in Bears history. And it's not even about the record. It's about the way that he's been losing some of these games. If you really look at just maybe like 6 games, Bears fans, the Bears could be 8-4, 9-3 right now. And he would be all good. He'd be like, okay, he's in year 3. He elevated this team to a playoff contender. But no, the same mistakes he makes every single week. And it always happens in crunch time. It always happens in crunch time, but not using the timeout there, it had to be the final straw. It had to be the final straw. Someone said, let Thomas Brown be the interim head coach and then hire Shannon, or maybe you're saying Shanahan if he comes available. That would be interesting if the Niners do let him go. Someone said, just keep collecting money. Matt Eberflus should have been fired Friday. He is done and knows it. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you could just see in his press conference that he's just no answers. Just very PR answers, not trying to say too much. He's not, sometimes Flus was like, Flus has always never been really good at press conferences, but, he would give you some energy and stuff, and it's just not there anymore. Just not there anymore. Someone said, we all know it's Virginia who's holding everyone back, Keek. Yeah, and, like I said, I'm not going to really comment too much on Virginia, but the McCaskies in general are just not good. Just not good. Said the problem with the Bears is they're trying to get into a notion of finding the same goal that the Rams did with Sean McVay. That's what they're trying to do. Unfortunately, it failed. Yeah, absolutely. It blows my mind. It really, really does blow my mind, Bears fans. I was really at a loss of words, and I'm going to post my reaction video of that final play. I know I did like a little rant and stuff, and it has 16 or 19,000 views on TikTok, but I'm going to post my final reaction because some of the reactions I've seen from Bears fans, it's just like, I truly feel bad for the rest of the Bears fans, and I understand I'm a Bears fan as well, but I truly feel bad for how much we love and support our team, and that's what we're supposed to do at the end of the day. We are just fans, but they do not care about us, man. They really just do not care about us. And it just gets to the point where you're like, when is it going to end? Like, if you're really going to let this loser of a head coach finish out the year, like, you're really going to let this guy finish out the year. It makes no sense. Someone says, Ryan ain't making the call to fire Flus. It's the McCaskies. Absolutely, I agree with that. And that's what's the frustrating part about it, is because the McCaskies were just supposed to be owners. They were really supposed to take a step back from making decisions at one point, right? And just letting Ryan Poles and, Ted Cruz and Kevin Warren run the show. And that's what McCaskey made that very clear. George McCaskey made that very clear that, hey, I just want to be a fan. And just step back. So if you are a fan of the game and you are a fan of the Chicago Bears, you cannot be happy on what you've been witnessing over this last 6 weeks. The Bears were 4-2 into the bye week, and you can say whatever you want. We've been playing the gauntlet of the schedule. Makes sense. We were supposed to get blown out in all these games. The Bears have had the opportunity to win every single one of those games, probably outside New England and Arizona. New England and Arizona absolutely just blew us out. But when we're talking about our division, Green Bay, that was a win. Minnesota, that could have been a win. And then yesterday against Detroit, that could have easily been a win as well. But once again, it's a shoulda, coulda, woulda league. I've even had Lions fans come into my streams and in my chat and basically just say, hey, man, they're even at a loss of words. They even said, I don't think we deserve to win that football game, but thank God you guys have a lame duck head coach in Matt Eberflus. So when other fan bases are noticing how bad Matt Eberflus is and yelling at the TV saying, what are you doing? You have a timeout. That's how you know he has been historically bad. It has been historically bad. Someone said, I ran on my YouTube channel. I'm in Georgia and I live in Indianapolis, and I've been a Bears fan since 2003. When I used to live in Gary, Indiana, I'm watching this franchise crumble. Breaks my soul. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Just it breaks all of our souls because we love the Chicago Bears with all our heart. We pour all our energy and time and effort, and that's our fault. We don't have to do all that. But we choose to because we saw a lot of potential. I think the good news is, we have a quarterback, and yes, it was a rough first half for Caleb Williams, but the fact that Thomas Brown and Caleb Williams and the way they adjusted in the second half and once again put us in a situation to win, and the way that game ended last night, it just breaks my heart. It really, really breaks my heart because Caleb Williams is playing ridiculous football right now. ridiculous football right now. So Bears fans, like I said, I wanted to come on here just for a quick 30 minutes and just rant with you guys for a little bit. And I appreciate you guys having over 100 people in the chat this early in the morning on Black Friday. You guys did not have to come in here and join me today. But my main message to you guys is that it's not completely out of the dark that the Bears have made a decision. Matt Eberflus is still very much on the hot seat. And it sounds like the Bears have yet to make a decision on head coach Matt Eberflus, and we'll see if it comes true. We all know that the Chicago Bears at this point have no backbone. They're weak. And just like I said, there's actually a buzz that just popped on my phone just now. It says there's no clarity on Eberflus' status. He says Bears head coach says he's confident he'll prepare team for 49ers amid hot seat rumors. So once again, I think they're going to talk over the next couple of days. He's going to meet with Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles. I think you have to understand when you're firing a head coach midseason, even though it seems like it's an easy process, which it should be an easy process, they still have to figure out who the interim is going to be, the changes they're going to make on the roster. But at that point, that shouldn't matter. You have 5 games left. You're 4-8. You're out of the playoff race. Just fire the dude and get it over with. You would make yourselves a lot happier. You wouldn't have to deal with the stress of just freaking malpractice as a head coach. Like as Ryan, like really sitting there for Ryan Poles, he has to be fuming. Like you're really putting your job status on the line. It's absolutely crazy. But once again, Bears fans, I appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. And make sure you hit the like button as well if you guys want to see Matt Eberflus fired as soon as yesterday, as soon as today, right now for the Chicago Bears. And as always, make sure you guys head over to betus.com and use promo code YouTube150 to receive your 150% deposit bonus up to $2,000. Once again, Bears fans, I appreciate every single one of you guys. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend. And just keep the faith. Just keep the faith. Just because they didn't fire him now doesn't mean they're not going to fire him in the next couple of days. Hopefully he is not the coach for the Bears when they prepare for the San Francisco 49ers. But other than that, Bears fans, love every single one of you guys. And as always, bear down, guys.